Chosen one, if you're watching this alone in your room, maybe it's 2 a.m. and sleep won't come. Maybe your body aches and your heart aches worse. Listen to me carefully. Tonight is not a normal night. I don't care if your calendar says it's just another Tuesday. I don't care if you've lived 70, 80, 90 years and seen 10,000 nights come and go. Heaven has circled this night, marked it, sealed it with your name before you even clicked on this message. You're not 20 anymore. Hell, you're not 50 anymore. Your knees remind you every morning. Your mirror doesn't lie. But here's what's about to blow your mind. Your body may be aging, but your spirit is about to undergo a transformation tonight that will make you unrecognizable to yourself by sunrise. Before this message ends, and I need you to hear this, you will know exactly what heaven has decided you will 100% become tonight. Not tomorrow, not when you're ready, not someday. Tonight. See, right now, you think you're a survivor, someone who's made it this far by the skin of your teeth. But tonight, you become a general. You think you're invisible, that the world forgot your name when you turned 65. But tonight, you become a pillar that holds up everything around you. You think your best years drowned in regret and missed chances. But tonight, you become a legacy builder who rewrites the ending for everyone who comes after you. This isn't motivation, this is activation. Something's already stirring in your chest, isn't it? That flutter, that warmth, that knowing you can't explain. That's not coincidence, that's confirmation. Heaven saying, yes, you, tonight. If you feel it, if something ancient and eternal is waking up inside you right now, don't scroll past. Type in the comments, I'm still here, Lord. 4 words, that's your first step. That's you letting heaven know you're not just watching, you're listening. Because tonight is a doorway, a thin place, a hallway between who you've been and who you're about to become, and you're standing right at the threshold. The question is, are you ready to walk through? You know what nobody talks about? The sound of silence in a house that used to be full of noise. The grandkids don't visit like they used to. Your spouse is gone, or might as well be. The phone sits there on the kitchen table like a monument to people who forgot to call. And you sit there in that same chair, in that same room, wondering when life became so damn quiet. The house is quieter now than it's ever been, isn't it? But here's what breaks my heart. It's not just the silence outside. It's the noise inside your head that won't shut up. Those conversations you replay at 2 a.m. The things you should have said. The choices you should have made. The moments you can't get back no matter how many times you relive them. Your joints tell stories your mouth never says. Every creak in your knees is a battle you survived. Every ache in your back is a burden you carried when nobody else would. Your body's keeping score of a life that demanded more from you than it ever gave back. And somewhere along the way, maybe it was after the diagnosis, maybe after the funeral, maybe after you looked at your bank account and realized Social Security wasn't going to cover the prescriptions, you started believing a lie. The lie that whispers, maybe God's done with me. Listen to me carefully, beloved. If you've ever said those words, if you've ever felt like you missed your moment with God, like your season came and went while you were too busy surviving to notice, I need you to lean in close. Because this message is heaven's direct answer to that sentence. You think you're too old. God says you're finally ready. See, the world looks at your age and sees subtraction. Heaven looks at your age and sees multiplication. Every year you've lived, every tear you've cried, every time you got back up when staying down would have been easier, that wasn't you getting weaker. That was you getting weaponized. Let me show you something that's going to shatter every lie you've believed about being past your prime. Abraham was 75 years old when God called him to leave everything he knew. 75. That's retirement age. That's when you're supposed to be settling in, not starting over. But God said, now you're ready. Now you understand enough about life to handle what I'm about to give you. And by the time Abraham was 100 years old, he was holding the promise God had whispered decades earlier. Moses was 80 when he stood before the burning bush. 80. His best years were supposedly behind him. He'd spent 40 years as a prince who failed, 40 years as a shepherd who thought he was nobody. But God said, now you know what it means to be broken. Now you know what it means to depend on me completely. Now you're dangerous. And Anna, precious Anna the prophetess, 84 years old, widowed after only 7 years of marriage, spent the rest of her life in the temple, praying, fasting, waiting. People probably walked past her every day thinking she was just another old woman who had nothing better to do. But when baby Jesus was brought to the temple, she was the first to recognize the Messiah. Her age wasn't her limitation, it was her qualification. Do you understand what I'm telling you? Every year you thought was wasted, heaven calls training. Every season you labeled as too late, God marked as right on time. What if all those years you spent thinking you missed your chance were actually God preparing you for the moment when the world would be desperate enough to listen? What if your wrinkles are His credentials? What if your scars are His signature on a masterpiece He's been perfecting for decades? You've been carrying an old version of yourself like a heavy coat in the middle of summer. That identity that says, I'm just old. That label that says, I'm just tired. That story that says, I'm just waiting to die. Tonight, God is going to help you take it off. Because here's what the enemy doesn't want you to know. He's been working overtime to convince you that your age disqualifies you, that your past defines you, that your best chapters are in the rearview mirror. Why? Because he knows something about you that you've forgotten about yourself. He knows that when you finally remember who you are, when you finally step into the authority that comes from decades of walking with God through fire, you become the most dangerous force on this planet. Not dangerous because you're young and energetic. Dangerous because you're tested and unbreakable. The world needs your wisdom right now. This generation that's drowning in noise and confusion and instant gratification, they need to see what faith looks like after it's been refined by time. They need to witness what happens when someone who's walked through hell chooses to keep believing anyway. Your grandchildren need to hear your story. Your community needs your prayers. This nation needs elders who remember what it means to trust God when everything around you is falling apart. If any of this is landing in your spirit, if you recognize yourself in these words, just write in the comments, that's me, not for me, for you. You're naming your season so God can rename it. You're acknowledging where you've been so heaven can show you where you're going. Because what you're about to become tonight isn't just a better version of who you were yesterday. It's a complete transformation that will leave you wondering how you ever believed you were finished. But first, you need to understand exactly what God sees when He looks at you right now. You know what breaks my heart? It's watching someone who's lived 70, 80, 90 years on this earth look in the mirror and whisper, I'm done. God's finished with me. That's a lie straight from the pit of hell. Listen to me carefully, chosen one. The Apostle Paul, a man who knew suffering, who carried scars on his back from beatings, who was shipwrecked, imprisoned, left for dead. This same man wrote something in 2 Corinthians 4:16 that should shake you to your core. Though outwardly we are wasting away, yet inwardly we are being renewed day by day. Did you catch that? Day by day. Not decade by decade. Not back when you were young and useful. Day by day. Including today. Including tonight. Your body may be wasting away. I'm not going to lie to you and pretend your knees don't hurt or your hands don't shake. But while your flesh is aging, something else is happening. something the natural eye can't see. Your inner man, your spirit is being renewed right now, this very second. With every breath you take, heaven is rebuilding something inside you that the world thinks is finished. But here's where it gets real. Here's where I need you to stop everything and listen. The world looks at you and says, "You're slowing down. Step aside. Make room for the young ones." Your own family might treat you like a relic, someone to visit on holidays, pat on the head, then forget until next year. Society tells you to collect your social security, sit in your recliner, and fade quietly into the background. But heaven? Heaven is saying something completely different. Heaven is saying, "I'm just getting started with you." You feel like dry, cracked clay, don't you? Like you've been sitting on a shelf too long, collecting dust, forgotten in the corner of some dark room. Your dreams feel brittle. Your purpose feels like it died 20 years ago. Your value feels like it evaporated the day you got that retirement letter. But you're missing something crucial. You're still in the potter's hands. Jeremiah 18:4 tells us, "The pot he was shaping from the clay was marred in his hands, so the potter formed it into another pot, shaping it as seemed best to him." Even old clay, even cracked, dried-out clay that everyone else has written off, can become a new vessel in the potter's hands. Tonight, and I'm not talking about some distant, theoretical future. I'm not talking about someday when you get to heaven. I'm talking about tonight. Before you lay your head on that pillow, before the sun rises tomorrow morning, tonight you will 100% become one of three things heaven has decided over your life. Not might become, not could become, will become. This isn't wishful thinking, this is prophetic declaration. And when it happens, you'll feel it like a weight lifting off your shoulders that you didn't even know you were carrying. You'll feel a mantle dropping onto you that fits like it was custom made for your exact measurements. Because it was. You may be sitting there thinking, "I'm done. My time has passed. I had my chance, and I blew it." While you've been mourning what you think you lost, heaven has been quietly, meticulously working on a new identity for you, a new assignment, a new authority, a new anointing that doesn't depend on your age, your energy level, or how many years you've got left. God doesn't retire his generals, he promotes them. Think about Moses. The man spent 40 years thinking he was somebody in Pharaoh's palace, then 40 years thinking he was nobody in the desert. But at 80 years old, God met him at a burning bush and said, "Now you're ready. Now I can use you." What was Moses ready for? To deliver an entire nation, to part seas, to speak face to face with the Almighty. Your age isn't your disqualification, it's your credential. Every year you've survived, every battle you've fought, every tear you've cried, it's all been depositing wisdom, authority, and spiritual muscle into your account. And tonight, heaven is ready to make a withdrawal. In just a moment, I'm going to reveal the first transformation, the first identity heaven has prepared for you. But before we get there, I need you to understand something that will change how you see the rest of this message. This isn't entertainment. This isn't just another inspirational video you'll forget by morning. This is a divine appointment. You didn't find this message, it found you. At this exact hour, on this exact night, when your spirit was crying out for answers, heaven intercepted your scroll and said, "Stop. Listen. This is for you." So before I reveal what you're becoming tonight, I want you to do something. Don't think about it. Don't analyze it. Just do it. Whisper these words out loud. "Lord, don't let me click away before I hear what you're saying about me." Say it right now. Because what I'm about to tell you might explain the last 10 years of your life. It might finally make sense of why doors closed, why relationships ended, why you lost things you thought you couldn't live without. You weren't being punished. You were being prepared, and the preparation is about to pay off. You know what breaks my heart? It's hearing someone who's lived 75 years on this earth whisper to me, "I'm just trying to make it through the day, just trying to make it." Like survival is the ceiling, like waking up tomorrow is the best you can hope for, like all those decades of breathing, fighting, bleeding, praying, like all of that was just so you could exist. Let me tell you something that's going to cut deep. You've buried people you loved more than your own life. You held your spouse's hand as they took their last breath and felt half your soul leave with them. You've watched your bank account drain to zero while the bills kept coming. You've sat in doctors' offices hearing words like chronic and incurable and managed the pain. You've been betrayed by people who sat in your living room, ate at your table, called you friend. You've been wounded by churches that were supposed to be your sanctuary. And somewhere along the way, you started believing a lie. You started thinking, "I'm just a survivor. I'm just someone who's still standing because I'm too stubborn to fall." But that's not what heaven sees when it looks at you. Listen to me carefully. Heaven does not see a weak survivor limping toward the finish line. Heaven sees a quiet general who has survived every single ambush hell could orchestrate, every trap, every assault, every scheme designed to take you out before your time. You didn't just survive, beloved. You outlived the attack. Think about King David for a moment. 1 Samuel 17 shows us a shepherd boy facing a 9-foot giant. But by 2 Samuel 23, we meet David's mighty men warriors so battle-tested that one of them killed 800 soldiers in a single engagement. These weren't pretty soldiers fresh from training. These were scarred, limping, weathered fighters who knew something the young recruits didn't know: how to stay alive when death is screaming in your face. That's you. You're not fresh-faced and pristine. You limp. You have scars that ache when the weather changes. Your hands shake sometimes. Your memory isn't what it used to be. But you know something that cannot be taught in a classroom or learned from a book. You know how to survive a battlefield. Generals don't look like Hollywood heroes. They look like people who've been through hell and learned hell's tactics. They walk with a limp from that injury in 78. They carry scars from surgeries that saved their lives. They move slower because they've learned that rushed decisions get people killed. But here's what the enemy doesn't want you to understand. Every scar you carry is a medal of honor. Every night you didn't sleep because you were interceding for your children, that was general-level spiritual warfare. Every time you chose to forgive when bitterness would have been easier, that was command-level authority. Every morning you got out of bed when depression whispered, "Just give up," that was the discipline of a 5-star warrior. You think you're tired? You're not tired. You're trained. And right now, tonight, heaven is commissioning you into your true rank. Not survivor, general. What does that mean in practical terms? Let me paint you the picture that's going to change everything. You are the prayer general for your family. While your children chase careers and your grandchildren stare at screens, you are the one standing in the gap. Ephesians 6:12 reminds us, "We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers." Your family doesn't need another lecture. They need a general who knows how to fight battles in the heavenly realms while they sleep. You are the wisdom general for younger believers. Proverbs 16:31 declares, "Gray hair is a crown of glory. It is gained in a righteous life." Those young people stumbling through life, making the same mistakes you made 40 years ago, they don't need another motivational speaker. They need a general who can look them in the eye and say, "I've walked that road. Here's what I learned in the fire." You are the intercession general over your city. When violence breaks out, when families fracture, when darkness seems to be winning, the news anchors talk about it. The politicians debate it. But you're on your knees at 5 a.m. doing what generals do, holding the line. There's a reason you're still here when others aren't. There's a reason your heart is still beating when friends your age are already in the ground. It's not luck. It's not good genetics. It's assignment. God keeps generals alive because wars aren't over. Job said it in Job 12:12. Wisdom is with the aged, and understanding in length of days. You're not old, you're ranked, you're not declining, you're deployed. You're not winding down, you're positioned for command. But here's the urgency that should grip your soul right now. Generals who don't know they're generals become casualties. Leaders who think they're just survivors waste their authority sitting on the sidelines. Tonight, before you close your eyes, you're going to step into that assignment. I'm going to show you exactly how in just a moment. But first, you need to make a decision. If something is rising in you right now, if something in your spirit is standing at attention for the first time in years, type one word in the comments: General. That's not just a comment. That's your acceptance of heaven's promotion. That's you agreeing with what God has been saying about you for decades while you were too tired to hear it. You are not who you thought you were, and the identity shift happening tonight is going to rock everything you thought was finished. But that's just the first transformation, because while you were becoming a general in secret, something else was happening that you couldn't see. You know what nobody talks about? The silence. Not the peaceful kind of silence. I'm talking about the silence when your phone doesn't ring anymore, when your kids text instead of call, and even those texts are getting fewer and farther between. When you walk into a room and people look right through you like your furniture, like your wallpaper, like you stopped mattering the day you stopped working, the day you stopped being useful to this world's economy. You feel like the background of your own life, don't you? Let me paint you a picture that might sting a little. Sunday dinner you cooked for 40 years. Every Sunday, that table was full. Laughter, arguments, stories, life. Now they're too busy. Now it's just you and leftovers for a week. Or maybe you're sitting in that chair by the window, watching the world go by, wondering when exactly you became invisible. When did you stop being a person and become just old? The phone sits there like a brick, silent. You pick it up sometimes just to make sure it still works. And when it does ring, it's a telemarketer, or it's your daughter calling because she needs you to babysit. Again, not because she wants to talk to you, not because she misses your voice, because she needs something. You've become the person people only remember when they need something. And here's what breaks my heart: you've started to believe that's all you are. You've started to accept that invisibility is just what happens when you get old. That being forgotten is the price you pay for living this long. That your value expired somewhere around your 65th birthday when they handed you that retirement watch and showed you the door. But what if I told you that everything you're feeling right now, every ounce of that invisibility, every moment of that silence, what if it's not abandonment? What if it's positioning? Stay with me, because what I'm about to show you is going to flip everything upside down. Turn with me to Revelation 3:12. John is writing to the church, and Jesus speaks these words: "The one who is victorious I will make a pillar in the temple of my God. Never again will they leave it." A pillar, not a spotlight, not a stage, not a microphone, a pillar. You know what nobody notices about pillars? Nobody looks at them. Nobody takes pictures of them. Nobody claps for them. You walk into a cathedral. You look up at the stained glass, the soaring ceilings, the golden altar. But the pillars, they're just there, silent, strong, holding everything up. But here's what happens if you remove a pillar. The whole building collapses. Every person who's ignoring you right now, they're still standing because you're holding them up. Your daughter who's too busy to call, she's surviving her chaos because you taught her resilience. Your grandkids who barely look up from their phones, they have food, shelter, and safety because of foundations you laid decades ago. That church you've served faithfully for 50 years, showing up every Sunday, even when nobody else does. It hasn't crumbled because you've been a pillar. You think you're invisible. God says you're unmovable. The world is obsessed with spotlights. Influencers. People with millions of followers. People who shine bright and burn hot and get all the attention. But you know what happens to spotlights? They burn out, they flicker, they fade. They're replaced by the next shiny thing. But pillars stay, pillars endure, pillars outlast every spotlight that ever burned. 1 Timothy 3:15 calls the church the pillar and foundation of the truth, not the spotlight of truth, not the stage of truth. The pillar, the foundation, the thing that doesn't move when storms come, the thing that doesn't shake when earthquakes hit. That's what you are. That's what you've been becoming through every year of feeling unseen. But here's what heaven is saying to you tonight, and I need you to hear this with every fiber of your being. I'm making you an unmovable pillar. Your quiet prayers are holding more together than you realize. Those prayers you whisper at 3 a.m. when you can't sleep, when you're lifting up children who don't call and grandchildren who don't visit, and a world that seems to be falling apart. Those aren't just words floating into empty air. Those prayers are structural support. You are literally holding things up in the spiritual realm that would collapse without you. Your family doesn't see it. Your church doesn't see it. The world doesn't see it. But heaven sees it, and demons feel it. Every time you pray, every time you worship, every time you choose faith over bitterness, you're reinforcing the structure. You're strengthening the foundation. The enemy has been lying to you. He's been whispering that you don't matter anymore, that your time is over, that you should just fade quietly into the background. You know why he's saying that? Because he's terrified of what happens when you realize your true identity. An unmovable pillar doesn't need validation from people. An unmovable pillar doesn't crumble when the phone doesn't ring. An unmovable pillar doesn't measure its worth by how often it's noticed. It measures its worth by what it's holding up. And tonight, right now, this very moment, heaven is cementing that identity into your spirit. You're not becoming a pillar someday. You're recognizing that you already are one. You've been one all along. The invisibility wasn't rejection. It was refinement. The silence wasn't abandonment. It was the sound of you being positioned exactly where God needs his strongest support. By the end of this message, I'm going to give you a simple nightly habit, something you can do every single evening before you sleep that will make you feel this pillar identity in your bones. Something that will remind you who you really are when the world tries to tell you you're nobody. But first, if this is landing in your spirit, if you've felt invisible and you're tired of pretending you're okay with it, I need you to do something. Write in the comments, "I've felt invisible." Don't be ashamed. Don't hide it. Because you're about to see what God does with invisible people. He doesn't make them visible. He makes them foundational. But here's the question that's going to unlock everything. If you're a pillar, what exactly are you holding up? Now listen to me, because what I'm about to say is going to cut deep, and I mean deep. You've got a box, don't you? Not a physical box though, maybe you do. I'm talking about that box in your mind, that dusty, heavy box tucked away in the back corner of your heart where you keep all the if only letters. If only I'd been a better parent. If only I hadn't walked away from that marriage. If only I'd quit drinking sooner. If only I'd served God when I was younger, instead of wasting all those years chasing things that don't matter. You open that box at 3 a.m. when you can't sleep. You open it when you see your grandchildren and wonder if they'll repeat your mistakes. You open it every time you look in the mirror and see the cost of your choices written on your face. Here's the truth, nobody tells you you've become a regret collector. You've been curating a museum of your failures for decades. Every mistake carefully preserved, every wrong turn documented, Every lost opportunity, catalogued and displayed like some sick exhibit of everything you did wrong. But tonight, right now, God is walking into your museum with a torch, and He's not here to admire your collection. He's here to burn it down. Because you see, beloved, God has a different plan for those old letters. Joel 2:25 says, He will restore the years the locusts have eaten. Not might restore, will restore. But here's what most people miss. Restoration doesn't mean He gives you those years back. It means He transforms what those years created. Every mistake you made, God's about to turn it into a message. Every wrong choice, He's converting it into wisdom. Every wasted season, He's mining it for gold that will save someone else from the same pit. You are not a museum of mistakes. You are a library of lessons. Think about that. A museum is dead, static. People walk through, look at what was, and leave unchanged. But a library is alive. People come desperate for answers, and they leave transformed because somebody who lived through hell wrote down the map to get out. That's what you're becoming tonight. Not a monument to failure, a living library of hard-won truth. But I need to be real with you about something. You've spent so long collecting regrets that you've forgotten how to build legacy. You think legacy is for people who got it right the first time. You think it's for the pastors who never stumbled, the parents who never yelled, the believers who never doubted. That's a lie from hell. Your grandchildren don't need perfect stories. They need true stories. They don't need to hear about a grandmother who never struggled. They need to hear how you fought your way back from the edge. They don't need a grandfather who had all the answers they need to know how you found God in the questions. Right now, there's a 14-year-old kid in your family who's going to face the same demon you wrestled with, the same addiction, the same depression, the same temptation to just give up. And when that moment comes, your perfect image won't save them. But your testimony, your honest, scarred, battle-tested testimony, that might be the only thing that does. So here's what God is doing tonight. He's turning you from a regret collector into a legacy builder. What does that look like practically? It means you stop hiding your story and start recording it. I'm talking about literally recording your voice. Sit down with your phone and pray prayers for your grandchildren that they can listen to when you're gone. Tell them about the night you almost gave up but didn't. Tell them about the moment God met you in your darkest hour. Tell them the truth about your mistakes and the even bigger truth about God's mercy. Write it down. Don't wait until you're in the hospital. Don't wait until it's too late. Write down the testimony of what God brought you through. Not a sanitized version, the real version. Because somebody in your bloodline is going to need to read about how you survived exactly what they're going through. Become the spiritual historian of your family. You are the elder. You are the one who's walked the longest. You are the bridge between the past and the future. And God is commissioning you tonight to stop apologizing for your history and start weaponizing it for the next generation. You think your mistakes disqualify you? No. They credential you. You think your regrets make you useless? No. They make you invaluable. Because the only people qualified to pull others out of the pit are the ones who've climbed out themselves. In just a few minutes, I'm going to walk you through a simple legacy prayer you can start tonight. A prayer so powerful, it will outlive you. A prayer that will echo through your family tree long after you're standing before the throne. But before we get there, I need you to do something. If this message is hitting you right where you live, if you're feeling the weight of those old letters starting to lift, hit that like button right now. Not for me, for the other senior citizen who's about to give up, who needs to stumble across this message tomorrow. And share this with just one person. Just one. That might be the beginning of your legacy right there. Because here's what's about to happen, and this is going to rock you to your core. God's not just changing how you see your past. He's about to change how you see your future. And what you're about to become in the next section will prove that your best days aren't behind you, they're breaking through right now. Listen to me, chosen one. We've walked through something sacred tonight. You've seen 3 identities. Heaven is holding out to you like robes laid across a bed. And I need you to understand something that might shake you. Some of you aren't just one of these. Some of you are quiet generals and hidden pillars. Some of you are pillars and legacy builders. Some of you, and this is going to wreck you, you're all 3. Heaven isn't asking you to pick one and leave the others behind. Heaven is saying, which mantles will you wear? Which coats will you put on before you walk out that door tomorrow morning? Because here's the truth nobody told you. You've been living in clothes that don't fit. Hand-me-downs from a world that labeled you retired, past your prime, too old to matter. But tonight, God is standing in your room with garments you've never seen before. Royal garments, battle garments, builder's garments. And He's asking, will you take off what the world dressed you in and put on what I've been saving for you? Now I want you to do something. As I walk through these 3 identities one more time, quickly, powerfully, I want you to notice where your body responds, not your mind. Your body. Where does your chest tighten? Where do tears start burning behind your eyes? Where does that flutter happen in your stomach? Because that's not emotion, beloved. That's the Holy Spirit putting His finger on your assignment. The quiet general, the one who doesn't need a title or a platform, the one who walks into chaos and brings order just by being present. The one whose prayers shift atmospheres, the one whose word carries weight because you've earned authority through decades of faithfulness nobody saw. If that's you, your chest just tightened. You felt it. The hidden pillar, the one everybody leans on but nobody thanks, the one holding up structures that would collapse without you, the intercessor, the wisdom keeper, the one whose phone rings at 2 a.m. because you're the only one they trust with their breaking. If that's you, tears just started. You felt seen for the first time in years. The legacy builder, the one who's done making excuses about age and time running out, the one who's about to turn every regret into redemption, every failure into a foundation for the next generation, the one who understands that the last quarter of the game is when legends are made. If that's you, something fierce just woke up. You felt the roar. Which one jumped? Which one made your soul say, yes, that's me? Because in just 60 seconds, I'm going to lead you in a declaration, not a prayer. A declaration that will mark the exact minute this identity shift happened in your life. 5 years from now, when your grandchildren ask you, when did everything change? You'll remember this night. You'll remember this moment. You'll say, it was the night heaven called my name and I answered. But first, I need to tell you something that's going to cut through every excuse you've been rehearsing. For some of you, maybe most of you, this is the first time in years, maybe decades, that someone has looked you in the eye and said, your future is bigger than your past. The world told you to wind down. God is saying wind up. The culture told you to step aside. Heaven is saying step forward. Your body told you you're running out of time. But your spirit, your spirit is screaming that you're just getting started. Moses was 80 when the burning bush happened. 80. And God didn't say, you're too old. God said, now you're ready. Caleb was 85 when he said, give me this mountain. And he didn't ask for the easy territory. He asked for the land still occupied by giants. Why? You've got something 20-year-olds don't have. You've got scars that became wisdom. You've got failures that became fuel. You've got decades of watching God show up when everything said He wouldn't. That's not weakness, beloved. That's weaponry. So here's what heaven is saying to you tonight, and I need you to let this land in the deepest part of your soul. It's time, not next year, not when you feel ready, not when circumstances line up. Tonight, right now, this moment. It's time to stop playing small. It's time to stop apologizing for taking up space. It's time to stop believing the lie that your best chapters are in the rearview mirror. The general doesn't wait for permission to lead. The pillar doesn't ask if it's okay to stand strong. The legacy builder doesn't check with anyone before laying the first stone. So right now, and I mean right now, I want you to do something that's going to seal this moment. In the comments below, type which identity heaven just activated in you. If you're the quiet general, type general. If you're the hidden pillar, type pillar. If you're the legacy builder, type legacy. And if you felt all three, if your spirit is confirming that you're carrying multiple mantles, type all three. This isn't just a comment. This is your signature on heaven's document over your life. This is you saying, I receive what you're giving me. I put on what you're handing me. I become what you're calling me. Because the mantles are here, the coats are laid out on the bed. Heaven is waiting. And the only question left is, will you put them on? Now listen to me carefully, chosen one. For the last 60, 70, 80 years, you've been speaking the wrong language over your life. Every morning when you look in that mirror, you speak loss. You speak limitation. You speak about what used to be, what could have been, what should have been. I used to be strong. I used to matter. My best days are behind me. You've been speaking obituaries over yourself while your heart is still beating. You've been writing epitaphs while God is writing new chapters. And tonight, right now, that ends. Because here's what most believers never understand about the kingdom of God. Words don't just describe reality. Words create reality. Proverbs 18:21 declares, death and life are in the power of the tongue. Not death or life, death and life. Both sitting on your tongue right now, waiting to see which one you'll release into the atmosphere. You think you're just talking when you say, I'm too old, or nobody needs me anymore. No, you're prophesying. You're decreeing. You're legislating your future with every word that comes out of your mouth. And beloved, you've been passing laws against yourself for far too long. But tonight, we're going to the Supreme Court of Heaven. We're going to overturn every verdict you've spoken over your own life. We're going to file new documents in the courts of eternity. And the signature on those documents, that's going to be your voice. See, there's a courtroom in heaven right now. Revelation 12:10 calls Satan the accuser of our brethren. He's standing there, pointing at your age, your mistakes, your limitations, building a case for why you should just fade away quietly. But Jesus, your advocate, your lawyer, your defender, he's standing there too. 1 John 2:1 says, we have an advocate with the Father, Jesus Christ the righteous. And right now, Christ is asking you to testify, not about what you were, not about what you lost, but about who heaven says you are becoming tonight. So I'm going to lead you in 3 declarations, and I need you to say them out loud. Not in your head, out loud, because when you speak, angels take notes. When you decree, demons flee. When you declare, heaven moves. Are you ready? Take a deep breath. This is your testimony in the courts of heaven. Say it with me now. In Jesus' name, I am not just surviving. I am a quiet general in the Spirit. Say it again, slower this time. Let every word land. I am not just surviving. I am a quiet general in the Spirit. Do you feel that shift? That's not emotion. That's the atmosphere around you changing. Because you just filed a legal document in heaven's court. You just testified to your true identity. Now the second one. And this one's going to hit different because it confronts the lie you've believed the longest. I am not invisible. I am a pillar in God's house. One more time. With authority this time. I am not invisible. I am a pillar in God's house. Psalm 92:13 says, "Those who are planted in the house of the Lord shall flourish in the courts of our God." You're not fading, beloved. You're flourishing. You're not disappearing. You're being established as permanent architecture in the kingdom. And now the third declaration. This one breaks generational curses and establishes generational blessings. I am not a regret collector. I am a legacy builder. Say it like you mean it. I am not a regret collector. I am a legacy builder. You just rewrote your family tree. You just changed the ending of your story. You just signed your spiritual birth certificate for this new season. But here's where most people make a fatal mistake. They have a moment, they feel something, and then they go right back to their old patterns. 3 days from now, they're speaking the old language again, speaking death instead of life, speaking limitation instead of possibility. So I need you to do something tonight before you go to sleep. Get a piece of paper, a napkin, anything you can write on, and write one sentence, just one. Tonight, I became a general in Christ. Or, tonight, I became a pillar in God's house. Or, tonight, I became a legacy builder. Put today's date on it. This is your spiritual birth certificate. This is legal documentation of the moment everything changed. When your kids or grandkids ask you years from now, when did you stop letting life push you around? When did you become so strong? You'll pull out that piece of paper and say, this was the night. Because something is shifting right now, not just in you, around you. The people in your life are about to feel something different when you walk into a room. Your prayers are about to carry more weight. Your words are about to have more authority. Your presence is about to command more respect. Why? Because you're not who you were an hour ago. You spoke your new identity out loud, and heaven heard you. Hell heard you. And most importantly, you heard you. But what happens next? What starts to change in your everyday life when you step into this new identity? In these last few minutes together, I'm going to show you exactly what will begin to shift around you in your family, in your health, in your finances, in your purpose, because of who you became tonight. And trust me, you're going to want to see this. Now listen to me carefully, because what I'm about to tell you is going to sound impossible until it starts happening to you. Tomorrow morning when you wake up, and you will wake up different, you're going to notice something strange. That phone call that would normally ruin your whole day, the one from your daughter complaining about money again, or your son who never calls unless he needs something. You're going to hang up and realize something shocking. You didn't spiral. You didn't spend 3 hours replaying the conversation in your head. You didn't let it poison your peace. Why? Because generals don't panic. They strategize. See, a survivor hears bad news and crumbles. But a general? A general assesses the situation, makes a plan, and moves forward with authority. That's what you're becoming tonight. And tomorrow, when that first test comes, and it will come, because the enemy always tests new promotions, you're going to surprise yourself with how steady you stand. But it goes deeper than that. When you pray for your family in the morning, something's going to feel different, heavier. Not in a bad way, in a powerful way. Like your words suddenly carry weight they never carried before. Like heaven is leaning in closer to hear what you're saying. That's not your imagination. That's pillar strength activating in your spirit. You see, pillars don't just exist. Pillars hold things up. 1 Peter 2-5 says you are living stones being built into a spiritual house. But most of your life, you felt more like a pebble than a pillar. More like something people stepped over than something people leaned on. Tonight, that changes. Because when God transforms you into a pillar, your prayers stop bouncing off the ceiling and start shaking the foundations of hell itself. And here's where it gets beautiful. You're going to notice yourself talking differently, not forced, not fake, just different. Instead of rehashing what you've lost, and Lord knows you've lost plenty, you'll find yourself sharing what you've learned. Instead of dwelling on who hurt you, you'll be speaking wisdom into who needs you. Instead of looking backward with regret, you'll be pointing forward with clarity. That's legacy language, beloved. That's the sound of someone who's stopped being a victim of their story and started being the author of someone else's breakthrough. Think about Moses for a second. Exodus 33:11 tells us, "The Lord would speak to Moses face to face, as one speaks to a friend." But you know what Moses did after those encounters? He came down from the mountain, and his face was so radiant that people couldn't look at him. He didn't even know he was glowing. The transformation wasn't something he manufactured. It was something that happened because he stood in the presence of God. That's you tonight. You're standing in a divine moment, and something is rubbing off on you that you won't fully see until others start reacting to you differently. Now, I need to tell you something that might surprise you. Tonight doesn't erase every storm. It doesn't delete your arthritis or magically refill your bank account or bring back everyone who walked away. But it does something more powerful. It's like the first line of light over the horizon at 5:47 a.m. You've been sitting in darkness for so long you forgot what dawn looks like. But that first sliver of light, it changes everything. Because once you see it, you know that darkness doesn't get the final word. And God is not asking you to do the impossible here. He's not asking you to run a marathon at 75. He's not asking you to climb Everest at 82. He's asking you to do what only someone who's lived your life can do. Stand, pray, speak, bless. That's what generals do. They stand their ground when everyone else retreats. That's what pillars do. They hold steady when everything around them is shaking. That's what legacy builders do. They speak life over the next generation when their own generation tried to speak death over them. In the days ahead, you're going to experience moments where you almost don't recognize yourself. Someone will disrespect you, and you won't even flinch. A crisis will hit your family, and you'll be the calm voice in the chaos. A younger person will seek you out for advice, and you'll speak with an authority you didn't know you possessed. When those moments happen, and they will, I want you to do something for me. Come back to this video, find this exact moment, and leave a comment that says, "It started that night," because your testimony isn't just for you. Some 68-year-old woman in Ohio is going to read your comment at 3 a.m. when she's about to give up, and your 3 words are going to give her the courage to hold on one more day. Some 74-year-old man in Texas is going to see your story and realize he's not crazy for believing God still has plans for him. Your transformation tonight isn't just personal, it's prophetic. It's a signpost for everyone behind you saying, if God did it for them, He can do it for me. So when the changes start, when you notice you're praying different, speaking different, standing different, don't dismiss it. Don't rationalize it away. Don't let the enemy convince you it's just a good day. Mark it, remember it, testify about it, because what's about to happen to you is going to be so undeniable that even you won't be able to explain it away. But there's something else you need to understand about this transformation, something urgent, something that will determine whether this moment becomes your turning point or just another message you watched and forgot. Listen to me, chosen one. We need to talk about what just happened here. We started this message with you sitting alone. Maybe your coffee got cold an hour ago. Maybe the house is too quiet since your spouse passed. Maybe your kids haven't called in 3 weeks. You clicked on this video, feeling invisible, forgotten, like the world moved on without you. But heaven didn't see a lonely senior citizen counting down the days. Heaven saw a warrior who's been in boot camp for 70, 80, 90 years. Heaven saw someone who survived everything, hell threw at them, and is still breathing, still believing, still here. And tonight, right now, in this very moment, something shifted in the unseen realm. I believe there's a registry in heaven, not the kind with birth certificates and social security numbers. I'm talking about the book of life that Revelation 20:12 speaks about. And I saw the dead, great and small, standing before the throne, and books were opened. But there's another book, beloved, a book of transformation, a book of becoming. And tonight, an angel just turned to your page, next to your name, where it used to say survivor, barely making it, forgotten. Heaven just wrote 3 new words in burning letters: general, pillar, legacy builder. You feel that weight on your chest right now? That's not anxiety, that's anointing, that's the mantle dropping. That's God saying, I'm done with you playing small. I'm done with you apologizing for taking up space. You've graduated, but here's what's going to mess with your mind. You thought your story peaked 30 years ago. You thought your best chapter was that promotion in 1987, that mission trip in 1995, that season when your kids were young and the house was full of noise. You've been living like the book is almost over, like God's just letting you finish out the remaining pages in peace. That's the lie that dies tonight. In God's script, tonight is not the end of your book. This is not the epilogue where you fade quietly into the credits. This is the start of the final, most powerful chapter. The one that makes everything before it make sense. The one your grandchildren will tell their grandchildren about. The one that rewrites your family tree for the next 100 years. Moses was 80 when the burning bush happened. 80. The best 40 years of his life came after the world would have retired him. Anna was 84 when she saw the Messiah, and her prophecy is still echoing 2,000 years later. Your age isn't your expiration date, it's your activation code. But I need you to understand something that's going to shake you. This transformation that happened tonight, it's not theoretical, it's not motivational, it's not something you'll work towards someday. It already happened. The moment you felt that stirring in your spirit, the moment you typed those words in the comments, the moment you stayed until this very sentence, heaven marked it, recorded it, sealed it. You are not the same person who started watching this video. The survivor in you just got battlefield promotion to general. The invisible one just became the pillar holding up everyone around you. The one drowning in regret just became the legacy builder who determines what the next generation inherits. So let me pray over you before you go. And I mean really pray, not some religious formality, but a father speaking over his children. Father, I thank you for every soul still watching right now. Thank you that they didn't scroll past. Thank you that something in them recognized your voice, calling them higher. God, tonight they made a choice to believe they still matter, to trust that you're still writing their story, to step into who you've been preparing them to become. Now I'm asking you give them peace tonight. Not the peace of the world that depends on circumstances, but your peace that Philippians 4:7 talks about, the peace that surpasses all understanding. Let them sleep deeper tonight than they have in months. Let their dreams be filled with confirmation, with vision, with hope. And tomorrow morning, Father, when they wake up, let there be a sign, something small, a phone call they weren't expecting, a check in the mail, a memory that brings healing instead of pain, something that says, yes, child, this was real. I see you. I'm with you. And now, beloved, before you close this video, I need you to do something. This moment is too sacred to let it slip away like every other YouTube video you've watched. This is your stake in the ground, your Ebenezer stone, your I was here and heaven met me here moment. Go to the comments right now and type, "This is who I became tonight," and then choose your word, general, pillar, legacy builder. Whichever one grabbed your soul, write it. That's not just a comment, That's your declaration. That's you telling hell, you don't get to define me anymore. That's you telling heaven, I receive what you've spoken over me. And listen, if you're not subscribed to this channel yet, hit that button now, because we're not done walking with you. Your transformation didn't end with this video. It started with it. Every week, we're going to keep speaking life, keep calling out the warrior in you, keep reminding you that your story isn't over. Share this message with one person, just one, that neighbor who sits alone, that friend from church who's been struggling, that family member who thinks their best days are gone. They need to hear this. They need to remember they're still chosen. And if God's putting it on your heart to help us keep creating these messages for seniors, for widows, for the overlooked, there's a way to support this ministry. But whether you give $1 or just give your attention, you matter to us. Your journey matters. Your transformation matters. Rest tonight knowing this truth that will anchor your soul. You did not just watch a video. You answered a call, and heaven saw it. Your new name is written. Your new chapter has begun. Now go be who you became tonight.